Okay. Okay. Yep. Let's see what we can do right here. Okay. So if you join, you just let me know where you're watching from. Okay. You just let me know where you're watching from, and we start something very that is going to help everyone. I'm coming. Mm. Yeah. So if you just joined, you let me know where you're watching from, and we start. Yeah. I don't know whether this is going to cause any problem, but hey, Teresa, today you hear from me. Okay, I'm done. I'm almost done. So today we finalize everything. Faustina is from Ghana. Teresa is from Ghana. Who again? Benjamin is from Ghana. Okay, and who again? Ghanaians are here lots. Okay. Yeah, let's start something that is really going to help each and everyone here. So before we start, I would pray and we start. Okay, so we pray. Lord God Almighty, we thank you for this wonderful day. I commit everybody watching into your hands. They are here for one reason, for their visa to get approved. Everyone who is watching, help them on that day. Give them confidence in their voice. Give them wisdom in their answers and clarity in their minds on the day of the visa interview. Let favor follow them. So when they go there, let them hear approved from the visa officer in the mighty name of the Lord Jesus Christ. We pray with thanksgiving and open right doors for them and make them pillars of their family. We ask this in many through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Samuel is also from Ghana. Okay, that's nice. That's amazing. Yeah, okay, so today's section might change everything for you. It might change the way you see the visa interview. It might help you. It might change your mindset about the visa interview. It's going to give you the confidence you need during your visa interview. And that is what I want for everyone. I don't want anyone to see that the interview is very, very difficult for you because it isn't. If people were able to do it, you can also do it. It takes a lot of stress. And I know that many of you are going through a lot of stress, going through the process is difficult. But after you sail through, that'll be it. So today's topic or what we are going to discuss today. And after that, if you have any questions that you are stuck at somewhere, that is the reason why I'm here to help each and every one of you. So at the end, if you have any questions, you can just let me know. I would answer it for you. Okay. And if you joined, you make sure to like the live session. If you've joined, make sure to like. And if you have anything to tell me whilst I talk, you make sure to let me know. Okay. Okay. Now, I want to start with this. Okay. I want to start with this question. I wanted everyone to answer this question to me. I want to see something. Are you nervous? Let me know what you think. Are you all nervous, like very nervous about your visa interview? If it's yes, just type it in the comment section that is yes, I'm nervous. If it's no, just type the no. Andrews is from Ghana. Oh, okay, nice, Andrews. So I'm speaking to Ghanaians only here. Yeah. So if you're nervous, let me know you're nervous. If you're not nervous, let me know that I don't really feel that I'm nervous. I just want to see something. And I just want to change that before your visa interview. So yeah. So, are you nervous? And it's okay to be nervous because during my visa interview, I was nervous as well. So it's okay to be nervous. But I just want to know from you: Are you nervous? Are you afraid? Is something bothering you? Like, what is going on with you? Before I go on and address that, before we go into today's topic. So, if you just joined, my question is: Are you nervous? Faustina said yes, of to the point when I think of it, I start using the washroom frequently. It'll be fine. And that is exactly what we're going to address. It'll be fine, it as well. Okay, Faustina has talked, which is quite. He said, I was nervous until I read your motivational message yesterday. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And we will talk about that as well. We will talk about that as well. So, yeah. And who again? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Okay. So let's talk about that. Let's address that before we go into everything. Okay. Number one, the reason why many of you, Benjamin said, I wasn't really nervous, but yesterday night, yeah. So yesterday night, Benjamin was all over. But yeah, I understand. Very nervous, but no, okay. Okay. Okay, we will work on that. Okay, we will work on that. I remember during my visa interview, I was very nervous. Before you enter in the embassy on the road by the roadside before you enter, there was a man. Yeah, life must go on. I love that. There was a man outside there, and I think he's been there before. And he started telling us a story. When you go in there, this is what's going to happen. If you go in there, he'll say this. So he started scaring me a little bit, but I said, no, I'll go there and get approved. Even if I don't get approved, I'll try again. So that was the mentality I was going there. But I said, by all means, I'm going to get approved. And the man scared me a lot. The man scared me a lot. But yeah, I'm here. So don't be nervous, okay? Anxiety will come though, but just try your best. And I'm going to teach you how to decrease your nervousness and stuff. Okay. So, if you are very nervous, this is one thing I want to tell you. Nervousness or anxiety is a feeling inside you, and you can't really control your feeling. You can't control your feeling. What you can control is the way you speak, or the way you sound, and the way you look. These are the two main things you can control. You can't control when you feel nervous. How are you going to do to feel less nervous? You can't control that feeling. It's still there. But you have to let the people around you know that you're not nervous. So what do? You control the way you speak. Now, how do you speak to make people know that you're not nervous? You speak with that. You open your mouth when you are speaking. I'm going to the US to do this and that and that. Use your gestures, use your hands. This is the reason why I'm going to the US. Though you are nervous inside, but the way you sound will make him say, "Oh, okay, this person is a very confident person." So you can't really control. The nervousness will still be there. When I stood in front of the visa officer, I was still nervous. Like my hands were shaking a little bit. I was still nervous, but there were two things you can control. Number one, the way you sound. So when she asks you why the USA, why this country, just be bold. And I've told you, you have to have a story. That is very true. And I'm going to talk about the story very soon. You have to have a story. But let's address the nervousness. So the way you sound is number one. When you are speaking, speak boldly. Though you are nervous, but when you speak boldly, people know that, oh, what a confident young man, but you are nervous inside. Number two is the way you look. You can't control the feeling that I'm nervous, but the way you look, like you go there, you smile. Inside you, you're nervous, but you go there, you stand there, you smile. When you're talking, you use your gesture. You dress very decently, dress very nice. And the dress code, people have been asking me about that. It's a business casual. Never wear something too formal and something like casual, like a t-shirt. No, business casual, like what I'm wearing, or just take this off and just wear white shirts and just tuck in, use your church clothes to go there. So you can't really control the way you nervous you are, but there are two things you can control: the way you sound. Okay. So from today, maybe you take a book, you start reading it out loud, you start pronouncing the word one by one after the other. By now, you probably have written down your answers for many common questions, right? When you are learning it, don't learn it like you are reading it. Open your mouth and speak. Now, the more you talk, the more it becomes part of you. So maybe you've written down, I'm going to the US to study this, blah, 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 blah. When you are practicing, just open your mouth and speak. He said, "It's Ghana month. I have a nice smock. Can I wear it?" Yeah, you can wear a smock to your visa interview. Yep, you can wear a smock. When they ask you, you said it's a Ghanaian traditional wear. So I want to show you what I wore to my interview. It is. I'm coming. A minute. I'm coming. It's an African wear, and yeah. So this is what I wore. It's an African wear, and my father gave it to me. So this is what I wore. You've probably have seen me wearing this before. So this is exactly what I wore to my interview with trouser and a black shoe. Let me show you the shoe I wore. I'm coming. I'll be right back. I don't know whether it's still here though, but it's like yeah. It's not exactly this one. It's not exactly this one, but something like this. So this is what I sent: black shoe and this. So it doesn't have to be like your home attire or something. It has to be a business casual, and it has to go with your story. So as a student, you don't really have to wear a coat, like you wear a suit, tie. It's formal, but it doesn't represent you as a student. In that way, you have overdressed. Like, yeah. But if you're a businessman or a business person and you wear a suit and a tie, that is okay. It tells something about you. Okay. And if you have your personal business and you can wear your business attire to the interview, that is also perfect. Like you have your own business, you sell Sobolo or something, and you have the logo, the company's logo, and something, you send it, that is okay. So your dress has to represent you. Okay. So control the two things I just told you. You are nervous, but you can control the way you sound when you are speaking, and you don't have to rush with your answers. You can slow down a little bit during your answers, but make it clear and don't talk too much. Okay, make it clear, don't talk too much. When it's time to end your answer, just end it. After talking about what she asked, end it. Who is going to fund you? My uncle is going to fund me. um he's been taking care of me since my undergrad. He makes this amount of money every year. That is it. Don't talk now. This is very clear. Don't go about talking about your uncle's work history. He used to work for this company, then he moved to this company. They are not asking about your uncle's work history. He said, "Who is going to fund you?" Okay, and after you mention your uncle, that your uncle is going to fund you, that is a good thing because that's a question he asked you, and you explain it a little bit. Okay, how do you yeah, no shouting, don't overshout, but just open your mouth whilst you're talking. It shows that you're confident. So for example, if I'm speaking and I speak very slow, like I speak with my mouth, you know, it it it's okay. But if I open my mouth and I make sure my words comes out clearly, you feel okay, this person is very, very confident. Okay. That is it. So that is one thing I need you to notice. Two things: the way you look and the way you sound. You can't control the way you feel. That I'm nervous, nervousness, anxiety, go away and it will go away. No. But you can control the way you sound. You talk well. You can control the way you look. When you are talking, smile, like believe in what you're saying. Like you talk to her. When she asks you why the USA, you'll be happy, you'll be explaining it, oh this and that. And after a short like two, three, four sentences, stop. The more you talk, the more it becomes complicated. Just stop. Okay. Stop. And I want to tell you this, and it relates to the visa interview a lot. Now, for example, you are going to the marketplace, okay, and you are walking. Imagine any marketplace. Maybe you're going to KJTL or Makola, and you meet this vendor by the roadside. He's selling this. Let's say he's selling this, okay. And when he comes to you for you to buy this, he stands there and started. He has memorized something already, right? And say, "Oh, this thing was produced in 1956. It was made by this. It was made." He's trying to sell you this, but he's telling you like the history of this, and he has memorized something, and he's trying to tell you that thing he has memorized about this product. Okay, so would you buy it? You are probably not going to buy it because you don't think that the product he's telling the person is not authentic. You get it? So that is the same thing during your visa interview. Don't memorize like random facts and go there and tell the visa officer that blah 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 blah. It's not about memorization. And if you memorize something, if I come and sit here and I memorize something and I start telling you what I've memorized, we are human beings. You are going to feel that this person, how he's speaking there, Warren Baba, he has memorized what he's speaking to me. So you wouldn't really pay that much attention. Go there, be yourself. The only thing I need you to memorize, the only thing you have to memorize is your story. Have an idea of what you want to do. And as I always say, when I was going to my interview, the only thing that was in my head was my goal, my dream. And in my book, I explained it very, very well. It has to be your past, your present, and your future. So my past was growing up, I saw many children die of malaria and cholera. My present is I want to go to the US, study very hard, learn the skills. My future is eventually come back to Ghana and fight malaria and cholera. That is the format your story has to be. Everybody watching me right now, you have to have a story, but you don't have to memorize everything. With there are over 40 different possible questions the visa officer can ask you. You wouldn't know. So you don't have to memorize everything. Have an idea of the whole thing. Okay. Just like the vendor who comes to sell you this thing. If the person comes, he has memorized things and he's trying to give you the history of everything, you're not going to buy it. But if somebody comes to you, if you're going to the market and a vendor comes to you, the vendor is like, "How are you doing?" And you say, "Oh, it's good." But you are angry, you don't want the person to approach you. And the person shows you, like, for example, the person shows you this shoe and he said, um, he tells you like a short backstory about this shoe that he was walking one day and he stepped on a nail. So he decided to come up with an idea of making a shoe that is going to protect everyone's feet. So this shoe, when you step on a nail, it's not going to pierce through, it's not going to enter your leg or something. So you'll be like, "Oh, okay. So this thing is going to really benefit me. Okay, so then let me give it a try. Let me buy it." That is the same thing you have to use for your visa interview. You are not going there to beg. Yeah. So don't use too much, please. I remember on Tuesday when we were doing the mock session, somebody asked me, somebody said please, and I said, don't use please too much. You are using please too much. And somebody, I'll be right back. No, you good, you good. Yeah, I had to let them know that they are making noise. Yeah, okay. So what was I saying? From what was I saying? I've even forgotten. Yes, sir. Yeah, what was I saying? What was I saying? I've forgotten. Yeah, the use of please. Yeah, don't use too much, please. Don't use too much, please. Just go there, be yourself. You are going there to give the person value. Okay, that is what you're going to there to do. So don't use too much, please. You're going there to let them know your story, to let them know why actually you want to go to the US. No one will help you because you begged him. Okay. If you come to me and you beg me, I'm not going to help you. But if you come to me and you offer value, that is when I'm going to help you. And that is the rule for everybody. When you go to a rich man and you start begging, but if you go to a rich man and you give the person value, this is what I want to do. So I will need a little bit of money to help me do this. The rich man is going to give it to you. And that's the same thing with the interview. When you go there with a clear, just a single story, a clear purpose. This is the reason why I'm going to the US. But after going to the US, I'm going to come back to my country and help with this. Bro, if I were the visa officer, I'll give you the visa. And that is the same thing you have to use. Get a clear one single story. Tell the visa officer, this is what I want, I plan to do. So if your goal is big and he sees that passion in you, he's going to help you by giving you the visa. So right now, wherever you are, ask yourself, what is one thing about me that I want to tell the visa officer? And it mostly, if you're a student watching me right now, it mostly has to tie to your academics. So you're going for a student's visa. So most of the things you say has to tie to your academics. So if you're coming here to do, for example, let's use communication. What exactly is your story? What happened? What did you want to do? Communication. Okay. So why do you want to go to the US? There are many schools in Ghana. Why the US? But you have something to answer that. Okay, after school, I'll also come back and do this. If you can answer these things, you can answer every question, and that will be it. It will be very, very simple for you. So remember this, you're not going there to beg, you're going there to offer value. And the value has to be your story, has to be your background. What inspired you? Why do you want to go to the US? How is the US going to help you achieve your goals? And eventually, so the past, present, future, your future always has to be that you are going to come back to your country. Okay. And the past should be something like your dream in your home country. The present should be something you're coming to do in the US and how the US is going to help you. So after the US helps you, always let them know that you're going to come back. Okay. Yeah. At this point, if you have any question, you can ask me before we continue. I don't want to be over talking on different topics before we move on to the next topic. If you have any questions, I'm here for you. That's the main reason why I'm here. So to summarize what we've talked about so far, oh, I just used a random course that came to my mind. So yeah, I didn't. Yeah. So yeah, communication. What is your story about communication? If if the visa officer knows that it's going to be easier, that is what I've seen from the trends and from the people I've coached so far. If you have a goal, right, they are going to help you. They are going to help you by giving you the visa. Trust me on that. If you have a goal, that is number one. That's the purpose of travel. Number two is your financial tie. If you they think okay, this person can pay his fees, everything is okay, and you can also prove your home ties. That is it. You are good. You are good. Yeah. So yeah, I use a random course, not just communication, but I decided to use what came to my mind, and communication was the first thing that came to my mind. But yeah, so what we've talked about so far, if you are nervous, that is okay. I was also nervous, very, very, very 100% nervous during my visa interview, and everybody I've spoke to so far, they were all nervous because that is your first time, and your brain doesn't know the outcome, what is going to happen. So your brain is going to scare you, and that is why you feel nervous, so that you don't do that thing you're about to do. So your brain will scare you and say, "Hey," so you prevent that because your brain is built for your safety. It always wants you safe. That is why when you touch something soft, you don't even think you move your hand. That is how your body is made to prevent you from danger. So if they think visa interview, we don't know the outcome, your brain is normally on the normal going to scare you, so you prevent that. So anxiety, the anxiety you feel is normal. But one thing I always say to do that is by decreasing your expectation. I don't know. Yesterday I wrote this in the group that one thing that helps me a lot is by thinking backward. What is the worst possible scenario? The worst possible scenario is no. Does it affect my life in any way? No. Life still goes on. Okay. If life still goes on, then I have nothing to lose. So I'll put my all in what I do. Okay. It's called the worst case scenario. It really helps. It really decreases that fear and anxiety. The worst scenario is that when you go there, he's going to say no. What happens after the no? Nothing. So you go there without fear and just go there and speak, and you're going to get approved. Okay. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. So let me summarize what I learned. This is what I sent to my visa interview with a black trouser and a shoe like this one. So go there with a business casual, whether you're a woman or you're a man. Go there with a business casual. You can't control how nervous you are, but you can control two things: the way you sound, just by opening your mouth, speak well, stop when you have to. Okay. Did people think that you have to rush to your answers? I'm going to the US because no. If you want to pause in the middle, all they need is clarity and yourself. They want to feel a version of yourself. So if you are clear with your answers, if you stop when you have to stop, that is it. Don't talk too much and don't talk too little, like be in the range. So that is it. So yeah, and we also talked about, yeah, that's, I think that's so for what we've talked about. Don't talk too much and you are good. And don't memorize your answers. We are going to talk about not memorize your answers very soon. Someone said, I work now, but I want to further my education. I have observed that database analysis, coding system, and maintenance culture is very poor where I work. That that is a very, very good answer. Okay, so what you did there was, yeah, so you've you've given a problem and you are the solution. Okay, you are going to, and the US is going to offer you a solution. You get it? So this is a very, very good story. Trust me on that. It's a very, very good one. If I know this, that okay, this is your background, this is what you want to do, this person wants to solve a problem. And if somebody wants to solve a problem and you're a genuine person, you're going to help that person solve that problem. So, for example, if I came here, or so no, if somebody came here and the person says, "Oh, I have cancer, so I need just a contribution from you," you're going to pay because the person has a use of that money. So, if you come and give me, you have a use of that visa I'm going to give you, then I'm going to give it to you. That's the same thing. That is a very good one, Samuel. That's a very good one. So you don't have to rush through the whole thing. He's a human being, so you have to talk one after that. So say, I work now, but I want to further my education in the US. But the main problem with my work or my job places, they have issues with coding. But you try and mention some specific problems in there. Okay, they have issues with maintenance culture is very poor. So I want to go to the US study. You mentioned like a specific course or a professor who is working on a certain research and how you want to come back and solve that problem. Okay. So yeah, that is a good one, Samuel. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a very good one. So that is how the whole thing has to be. So don't talk about cliche stuff. The school is nice. The school is beautiful. They have great professors. They have. So how is that going to impact you? Everything about a visa interview, every question is about you. When they ask you why the US, is about you. When they ask you why your course, is about you. When they ask you why now, is about you. So everything is about you. So try and put your self factor in there. He said, please, I do own my business. How do I dress for the interview? So you own your business, so dress like you own a business. So how do business owners dress? I don't know how big your business is, but when I go there and I just put on my suit just like this, and I go some everybody, and you go there and you tell them that I have my own business. You get it? So I own my own business, and um, the thing is, we are facing a major problem with maybe the accounting sector, but I just want to go to the USA, study this, and eventually come back and expand my business. That is more convincing. So yeah, so dress like you have a business. If you have a business, so if you have a business, You don't have to wear a t-shirt, and you dress like how businessmen men dress. You get it? So yeah, it's hot in here. So in Ghana, many young people want to start businesses, but and one thing, don't be Prince. I'm coming to your question very soon. Don't be Since I said you have to get a story, don't go all into the story. Like, don't talk too much about the story. You get it? It has to be like your background and what inspired you, but don't talk too long. Don't give like a details about your story. Give a part of your story, the important parts of your story, then link it to how the US is going to help you. And if there is time, link it to how you're going to come back to your country. So if you can prove how you're going to come back to your country in the first question, okay, you've proven your home ties already. So you've removed the immigrant intent. When we talk about immigrant intent, before I go to Prince's question, oh, Francis, really? We'll reach out back to you. We'll reach out back to you as soon as possible. Yeah. Of late, yeah, studies and stuff, but we'll reach out back to you. Or you send me an email, or I'll respond as soon as possible. Yeah. So he said, can you please explain when they ask of my deficit? How do I explain my deficits? I don't have a scholarship. So if you don't have a scholarship, everybody watching, if you don't have a scholarship, who is going to pay for your fees? Because the reason why they mostly ask for your scholarship or your deficit, how are you going to pay your fees, is when you come here, they don't want you to struggle financially. You get it? So they're going to ask who is going to pay. And if you can't really prove that, they're going to deny you because you don't have the money, the funds, you wouldn't come here and be homeless. You get it? So they're going to ask that. So if you have a credible source, someone who has the money and who is willing to take care of you, and the person is not just a random person, then it's credible enough. So there are people without scholarships who got approved. So how you're going to answer the question is, so number one, when the visa officer asks you, okay, who is going to fund you or who is going to sponsor you? And let's say your dad is going to sponsor you. So you just say, um, my father is going to sponsor me. He works at blah blah blah. He makes an amount of this every year, and he's been taking care of me since my he took care of me, or he's promised to take care of me through my undergrad studies or my graduate studies. You are done. Okay, don't talk too much about everything. So you talk about your dad, the person who is going to sponsor you. You talk about the amount he makes, and the amount the person makes has to be bigger than the amount on your I-20. Okay, because if the amount on your I-20 is like 9,000 and your father makes like 8,000, it means that he can't pay. So the amount your father makes has to be bigger than the amount on the I-20. So let's say the amount on the I-20 is like $9,000, and the visa officer asks you this, that who is going to fund you? Then you start by saying, my dad is going to fund me. He makes an amount of, like, they say, $20,000 every year, or $45,000 every year, and he's been taking care of me, or he has promised to take care of me through my academics. You're done. Okay. Yeah. But be yourself, as I said. If you think you can add anything that is really going to convince him or her, you just do that. So, Prince, let me go into your question. In Ghana, many young people want to start businesses, but there are not enough opportunity and support. Many youth struggle to access finance. Okay, that's a good story. This situation inspired me to study finance in the US. I want to gain strong and return to Ghana to help and grow. That's a good story. Praise, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. So I love how you all are changing, like, how you see the visa interview. That it's not like you have to memorize certain kinds of questions and go there and say to the visa officer that this and that and that. I love how everybody is trying to form their own story and form their own. I love that. Initially, everybody wanted to like think that, oh, you have to answer the visa interview questions in a certain way. Oh, this person answered this in this way, so that's the same way I have to answer it to get approved. But every case is different. Prince's case is different from Samuel's case, is different from Faustina's case, is different from Mabel's case. So I love how each and every one is trying to come up with their own story, what inspired them. And I really love that. I think I'm making an impact here. Yeah. So everybody I know who went had a story. So you also have to have something. And I think in my book, chapter 3, I talked about a guy who was shaking. Like he said he was shaking. He was shaking during his visa interview. When he was going there, he wasn't, he was confident in himself. But after the visa officer asked, pass me your passport and your I-20, after he passed it, he started shaking, but he got approved. So what got him approved that was that he was coming to study cybersecurity. And he mentioned the digitalization in Ghana, that Ghana is trying to go into that realm. So he's going to study cybersecurity and come back and help Ghana with that project, what they want to do in digitalization. So I think that got him approved because he had a dream back in his home country. The government is working on digitalization. I want to do cybersecurity. So I want to go to the US, study more about systems and cybersecurity, and eventually come back and help the government with their vision. So, and when he was saying that, as I said, he said his hands were shaking, his palm felt sweaty, but he still decided to speak and he got approved. So, all they want to hear is not your big English. You can speak perfect English. Yo, my English is not good, so they are going to deny me. No, it's not about the perfect English. It's not about your accent. If someone feels that, oh, this person there, he's genuine, this person is authentic, then that is it. So make them feel your authenticity, and how do you your personal story. Yeah, and continue to like it. Continue to like the live, and thank you very much for the likes. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So if you're here and you're watching me right now, try and get a story. Try, sit down. Sometimes it doesn't come immediately, but sit down, ask yourself this: why do I even want to go to the US? Why do I want to study the course I chose? Try and come up with something that inspired you to do that. Okay. It takes time. Sometimes it takes time. Yeah. Just try, think about the whole thing and reduce it, try and analyze it, get a special story that is for you. Okay. And once you get that story, you are done, because most of your answers comes back to the story. Most of your answers you give will just relate you back to the story. So if you have a story like Prince's own about finances, and they ask you why the USA, you can use that same story to answer why the USA. If they ask you why your course, you can use a similar thing to answer why your course. Why now? You can start with, I've been working in this business, blah 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 blah. So during my gap year, I was working on this business because my dream is to go to the US, blah 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 blah. So it can also answer. So the most important thing to get before your interview is not memorizing answers for each question, because there are more than 30 questions, probable questions they can ask you. They can ask you, provide me your transcript. What did you get your they can ask you different questions like, what are your plans after graduation? What will you do if I don't give you a visa? So they can ask you different questions. All you need to do is not to prepare, get memorize answers for each question. You're going to be tired, and everything you say is going to feel memorized. But if you have a story, you have something, it really sells. So everything about the interview is that you are going to sell something. What are you going to sell? You're going to sell your story. You're going to sell them your vision. Okay, as I said, everything is about you. So that's what you're going to sell. Okay, so visa interview is simply sales. You're going to sell something to the visa officer. If he's interested, then he's going to give you a visa. As the money. So if you go to the market and you want to buy, for example, this bottle, when the seller gives you this bottle, what do you have to give him as a reward? And money. So that's the same thing. What you're going to sell is you're going to sell your vision. You're going to sell why you want to go to the US. You're going to sell your intention. So that's what you're going to sell. If the visa officer vibes with you, he's going to give you a visa. So that's the whole thing. So if someone comes to you, as I was saying, and the person wants to sell you this bottle, and the person is not genuine, you're not going to buy it from him. The person has memorized what he wants to say, and he's trying to sell you this bottle with what he has memorized. This bottle was made in 1962. It was this. That's the same thing with a visa interview. When the visa officer asks you, "Tell me about your school," and it's that the school was built in 1972. It was built by Raymond Charles, and I think he was a farmer. Okay, so what next? You have just memorized the facts. So okay. So what's special about you? Okay, and as I always say, the story behind everything gives that thing a value. So what is your story? So if you want people to know your value, let the people know the story behind that value. So if as I gave you an example initially, I said if I want to sell this shoe to you, this shoe is too big. But if I want to sell this shoe to you, I'll just come to you, talk to you for a little bit, and I'll try my best to tell you the story behind this shoe. Also, bro, one day I was walking and I stepped on a nail and the nail hurt me so bad. But I sat down for months and I decided to make a shoe that when you step on a nail, it's not going to hurt you. So after months, I just made this shoe. So when you buy this shoe and you step on any nail, it's not going to hurt you. You'll be like, oh, what a nice story. So the story behind everything makes that thing very special. That is why Apple and big companies are selling because they have a story. Okay, so have a story behind everything. And there's one last thing, then I answer Prince's question. I don't know whether you've heard of the painting Mona Lisa or something. It's one of the expensive paintings in the world. And it wasn't that expensive when they made it. Years ago, it was like $25,000, but now it is like millions of dollars. The reason was that someone stole it and it became scarce. People were looking for it, and when they found it, the value appreciated. Because of that story, when everybody was looking for it, because there is a story behind that thing that made that thing increase in value. And everyone wants something with value. So when you go there, let them know your story. Why do I have to give you a visa? And you start with your story. It gives you value. Okay, it gives you value. So you are going there not to beg, please. I beg you. You are going there to give them your value, what you have. How is the US going to help you, and how you're going to come back to your home country to help with what you've learned. Prince said, please, can you share with us those who had their visas? Um, um, I think they said I should keep it confidential. Yeah, they said I should keep it confidential. So, but yeah, they said I should keep it confidential. But there are some good news though. But for now, if they are okay for me to tell you, I'm going to tell you. But there are some good news. Yeah, Prince, there are some good news. Maybell said, so how do I talk for it not to sound like you memorize your answers? Oh, so I don't know how, but when someone has memorized the answers, you can feel it. The person will talk and you try. I don't know how, but it's not something you observe. You feel that this person has memorized it. So sorry, if you can memorize your answers to a point that it doesn't. Sorry, if you can memorize your answers to a point that it doesn't feel memorized, that is fine. I know people who can do that though, but be yourself. Yeah, just like someone said, do it. Go there, be yourself. Like when you pretend and you don't get approved, But when you go there and you be yourself, after even after you get denied, I'm not saying you're going to get denied, but you feel this sense of like, oh, I went there, I was myself, but I didn't get approved, which means when I go there again, I'm going to get approved. Okay, that is the sense of fulfillment giving being yourself gives you. He said, "Can the people on who went, if they are willing, I'll let them. I'll let them. I'll tell them if they are willing to share you the experiences, then they'll come on Tuesday and tell you the experiences. So I'll message them and I'll let you know if they are willing to share it. Yeah, I can let them share it. But I think one during I think 2 weeks ago, right, we had a session on bank statement, the correct bank statement to send. It's on YouTube right now. At least they should share with us their questions. Okay, I'll talk to them and see. Okay, I'll talk to them and see whether they'll be willing to share with you their questions. Yeah, but yeah, 2 weeks ago we were talking about bank statement and someone joined. He's also called Emmanuel, and he shared his experiences about what actually happened, and he was talking about the bank statement as well. So he said, for him, he got approved. He got approved. He said they asked about his bank statement, and he went through the bank statement. But I think that day I was talking about bank statement, and I said your bank statement has to be like 6 months prior to your interview, and the transactions on the bank statement has to be like believable, not that you just tell somebody to send money and you send everything in them just one transaction. So that one is suspicious for a bank statement. Okay, it's suspicious. So I was talking about that, and he joined, and he told me that that was the same thing he was asked. So the visa officer told him that, hey, can you provide me your bank statement? So he said, here you go. So the visa officer started looking through the bank statement, and he saw that there was one big transfer into his account. So the visa officer asked him about that. That why is there one big transfer? There was this amount, but why is it that all of a sudden someone sent this big amount into that? And he explained that, oh, he had a treasury bill, so when it was over, they sent it in there. So yeah, that is what he talked about. And he said they asked him why the USA, and he told them his story. He used the story format that I'm telling you, and almost everyone I've talked to who got approved, that is the same thing they used. Though some people didn't know about the story format where you have to let them know your story, what inspired you, how the US is going to help you, and how you have to come back. Many people didn't know that. But when you hear what they said, you realize that that is the same thing they used. Visa officers always want to know your story, they want to know you. Even if they ask a question like, let's say, why your course, in a way they are asking about you. That is what I know. And it's not from them though, it's what I developed that so looking at the trends, looking at people who got denied, approved from their stories they told me, if you really look at it, most of them had like a story. They had something special in that thing they said. So I said, okay, if this is repeating and they are all getting approved, then it should be a factor. So the story format is not from any visa officer. Every interview from a visa officer I watch, they say, be yourself. I want to know simply your story though. But yeah. Said watching from Kenya. Hey David, how are you doing? Yeah. So try and get a story. What about you is special? Because already thousands of people have come in front of the visa officer and they have spoken to him. So what makes you special? So you are going there to give them the value you hold and how the US can help you. That is the mindset I want everybody to develop about visa interview. It's not about memorizing nice answers. It's about being yourself. People go there, they are afraid, they start shaking, and they get approved. But people go there, they have the perfect English. They they go there with good English, they go there with everything good, but they get denied. So it's not about the good English you have. It's not about the things you know about the school. It's about you being yourself. It's about you being authentic. It's about you telling them your story. What about you that you want the visa officer to know? Just be yourself. Okay. Yeah. So don't memorize. If you can memorize, as I said, if you can memorize to a point that no one feels that you've memorized, that is good for you. But just go there and be you. Avoid over explaining. And I always talk about this. Don't, if they ask you a question like why the USA, and you start by talking about your story and your dream and how the US is going to help you and how you're going to come back to your country, stop. There are times after you answer, he'll be very, very silent. Don't try to talk to fill the silence. You also keep quiet and start watching. Okay. There are people when the visa officer is quiet, they try to talk more in order to explain the situation. You don't have to really talk more. Okay. Yeah. You don't really have to talk more. And be very confident. Be very confident. Everybody here, as I said, you have to have a story. Just just have something that is very special about you. Something that inspired you to do what you are doing. And people will follow you. People will follow you. So there are big people in history like Martin Luther King. He started a civil rights movement. Why did he start? Because he saw, so he had a story. Oh, black people are getting oppressed in America. So this is what I have to do. So that is his story. So everybody who like got up there had something. So you also have to have a story and you have to be ready to tell them. Okay. He said, I'm well, thanks. I'm preparing for my second attempt. And if you are here and you are preparing for your second attempt, there is a likelihood that you're going to ask you what has changed. Like, what have you changed from the first interview to this current interview? Like, what is the changes you've made? So you have to get an answer for that as well. A question like, why are you here today? This question, many people ask it, but I don't know why it's a question, it's a valid question for a visa interview. But I'm going to answer it though. I'm coming. Why do you want a visa today? Okay. Why are you traveling to the US? So with this question, how do you go about it? So why are you here today? Simple answer. I'm here to be interviewed for a US visa. I'm here to be interviewed to get a US visa. That is it. You're done. Um, I don't know why they ask that question though. I haven't seen anybody who has content. But yeah, that is what you're going to say. And as I said, be yourself. So any answer that you think is, reasonable, you can say. Why do you want a visa today? So there's a question of why. Why do you want a visa today? And why are you traveling to the US? Why do you want to travel to the US? This is the same as why the USA. So let them know your story, your background, and how the US is going to help you achieve those goals and how you're going to come back to your home country. Okay. And is it possible for the VO to ask you to prove business certificate if you tell them that you are coming to manage a business after? Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. You wouldn't know the questions they are going to ask you. So when you say you have a business, they can ask you maybe provide your business certificate. But yeah, it's possible. It's possible they can ask you that. But the other times they don't ask. So I have a friend who went there and told them he has a business. They didn't ask of his business certificate. And since I'm not a visa officer, I can't really predict the exact questions they're going to ask everyone. Okay. So you Prince, you said why do you want a visa? So it's also about why the USA. Since you have a story, you can tell them. wh- Okay, this question is quite complicated. Let me see. Why do you want a visa? Okay, so you can start with your story as well. It's your dream to go to the US, blah 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 blah, blah. And to get to or to achieve your dream, a visa is the only way you can do that. Or the visa is the only way you can go to the US to achieve your dreams. So without so it's a question of why the USA as well, because without a visa you can't get to the US. You get it? Yeah. I don't know whether I've answered your question, and I don't know whether you're okay with the question, the answers. But yeah, yeah. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the biggest mistakes applicants make. People call it a red flag. Yeah. So the biggest mistake, number one, inconsistency with your DS 160. Now, when you write something on your DS 160, like try and say the same thing during your visa interview, because mostly you see a laptop or a computer. When you've seen visa pictures, I don't know whether I can share my screen to show you. Oh, I can share my screen. I didn't know that. So when you see, let me share with you my screen so you can see. I'm coming. Yeah, I can share my screen. So visa interview pictures. Oh, if I can share my screen, every live will be very easy. What am I looking for? Yeah. So let's use this for example. So most of the time, you are certainly going to see, where is it? Yeah, you are certainly going to see a computer right here. Okay, you are certainly going to see and most often when you are talking to them, they will be looking on the computer, they will be looking on your forms, your DS 160. So if what you say doesn't match with your DS 160, it's inconsistency. It means you're not an honest person, and they could deny you on that. So just make sure you review your DS 160 well before you go. Okay, that is one big mistake people do. Review your DS 160 before you go. Yeah. He said, "How best can I answer what has changed?" So one thing that is very difficult about this question is when you get denied for the first time, they are not going to really tell you the reason why they denied you. That's very difficult. They will just tell you the law under which you get denied. So when you get denied, you're going to see laws like Section 214B. That is the most common form of law. Like 95 of the percent of the time when they deny you, they're going to tell you Section 214B. That is what they are just going to tell you. And Section 214B has a lot of subsections. It means number one, you couldn't prove immigrant intent. It also means you couldn't prove home ties. So you can't really tell the reason why they deny you. So all you need to do is to sit down and try and think about the whole thing. And you think, what exactly is the reason why they denied me? And you have to try and find an answer to that. So maybe after the first attempt, you decided to change your school. So you can say the first attempt I came here with maybe Harvard University, but now I have MIT. Or so change something significant. Or maybe in the first attempt I had a scholarship of maybe $10,000, but now I have a full scholarship. That is a significant change. So what change have you like? What exactly have you changed in your whole thing? Yeah. So try and get something, just something, and change. Yeah, but if you're going with the same school, same scholarship, same everything, maybe you can tell them that you couldn't really express yourself well because you were very nervous, but now you've worked on that and you are coming to try again. And since you have a dream that you cannot give up on, you decided to come here to try again. Okay. Yeah. But try and change something, at least with your school or the scholarships you got or something. Try and change something. Yeah. Is that why are you, let's see. Benjamin said, "Why are you going to the USA and why the USA?" I feel there are two different things. The first one is basically your purpose of travel, and the second one is basically what inspired you. Your purpose of travel and what inspired you. What's the difference between the two of them? Yeah, Benjamin, what's the difference between the two of them? Um, if if your bank statement proves half of the annual income of your sponsor, are you going to base on his annual income or those in the bank statement? Okay, let me read it well. If your bank statement proves the half of the annual income of your sponsor, okay, are you going to base on his annual income or the one in the bank statement? No, you're going to base on the income he gets every year. Okay, you're going to base on the income he has every year. This is the amount he makes every year. But let's see. That does a person has two bank accounts? Is it I wish I could do an audio? Oh, yeah. But purpose and inspiration. I understand purpose, what you want to do. Inspiration is what is a driving factor behind what you want to do. So inspiration drives purpose. But in this case, why are you going to the USA? And why the USA? To me, right, I don't feel any difference in the two if you have a story. If let's see, why are you going to the USA? And why the USA? If I were in that situation and I went to my visa interview and they asked me the same questions, I will answer it the same way, but I will just rephrase the main thing. Yeah, I'll answer it the same way. Hey Daniel, how are you doing? It's been a long time. It's been a long time. So let's use my story, what I sent to my visa interview. So my story was malaria and cholera is killing many children in Ghana, and I want to go to the US to study very hard, improve on my skills, and come back to Ghana and help with um, malaria and cholera. Okay, so let's use that same thing to answer. Why are you going to the US? I'm going to the US to study nursing. Okay, okay, I get your point. But if I were to explain the whole thing, I'll go back to the malaria and cholera. And why the USA, I'll start with the malaria and cholera. So I would answer that question in a similar way, but it wouldn't be the same wording or stuff. But I don't know, Benjamin, how you're going to answer the two and the answers you prepared for the two. But I would answer it the same way, but I'll just change the wording. Um, let's see. You said, okay. No, why is like to pursue masters, but why the USA? Like the unique thing that made you choose the USA aside other countries. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, right, most of the questions are about you. They want to know you, right? So the unique thing about the US that is maybe the professors or something, it's the same here. Yeah, because I'm trying to think about a unique answer you're going to give to why are you traveling to the US and why the US, a unique answer for the two of them. But I'm not really getting it. Yeah. So I would answer it the same way as I used to answer. Why are you going to the US? I'll answer it the same way as why the USA because I think they are the same in my understanding. Yeah, I'm fine, Daniel. I'm fine. What if my sponsor is my stepmom on my DS 160? And on my DS-160, it's my birth mom. Is there going to? Yeah, it's an inconsistency right there. If you put if you put someone else's name on the DS-160, use a person on the DS-160's bank statements. Or if you can really explain the change in your sponsor, that is fine. But mostly they have to go in line. So what happens on your DS-160 is the same thing you have to say. Because they are going to look on the DS-160, that is for sure. So if you are saying your stepmom is going to fund you, and now you are coming to say your mom is rather going to fund you, but if you can, I don't know, as I don't know whether they're going to give it to you, but they have to match. They have to match. Yeah. So Benjamin, I would answer it the same way. Why are you going to the US and why the USA? Why are you traveling to the US and why the USA? Why the USA? Yeah, I'll answer it the same way. I'll answer it the same way. Yep. So if you are here and you have any other questions, let me know. And yeah, the reason why I'll answer it the same way is now, as I said, most of the questions is about you. Why the USA is about you, and so you have to put in your yourself in there and answer it a way that is special to you. I don't know whether I'm making sense, but yeah, I'm making sense. Yeah. So that's the same thing with why are you traveling to the US. So it makes them kind of similar and kind of the same answers. This is how I can answer. I'm going to the US to study MS in cybersecurity at the University of Delaware. Okay. I chose the US because the US have advanced research on training experiences. Now add the factor how it's going to help you build something back in Kenya. Okay, try and prove home ties mostly when they ask you why the USA. It's easier that way. Okay, so okay, you want to get advanced research in and training experience. Why do you want to get advanced research and training experience? Is there a story behind that? Maybe you're working on something on Kenya, okay, and eventually you want to go back and work on that. So the advanced research and experience or the training experience will eventually move you to Kenya to do blah 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 blah. So in a way, you've already proven home ties. And the vessel officer will be like, oh, the person doesn't want to stay in the US. He wants to go back to his country. So the immigrant intent vanishes because the thing is, and it's written on their website. I would be glad if I can show you. They call something the immigrant intent. Immigrant intent is no matter who you are, when you stand in the visa officer has to think that you are going to migrate in the US and stay there forever. No matter if for non-immigrants, so if you're going for B1, B2, F1, in their head immigrant intent. So everyone who is here who is going for a visa interview in a visa officer's head, you are coming here as an immigrant, and they don't want that. If you are a non-immigrant, you have to be a non-immigrant. So that is the immigrant intent. The only way you can clear the immigrant intent off the visa officer's head is by proving your home ties. That they should believe that after everything, you are going to go back to your country. Then the immigrant intent vanishes. So if you don't really convince them that you're going to come back to your home country, then they are going to deny you. And the denial they are going to give you is section 214B because you couldn't like let go of the visa officers like immigrant intent or that intention about you that you are going to immigrate into their country. You get it? So that is an immigrant intent. And they are not mostly going to ask you that, do you want to stay in the US forever? There's you're just going to say no. So through your answers, through how you talk, through how you speak, they will be able to detect whether you're going to stay here forever or you're going to go back to your home country. And the way you can do that is by adding it to your purpose of travel, is by tying it to you why you want to come to the USA. So if the only reason you want to come to the USA is just to gain knowledge and skills and go back to your country, the immigrant intent vanishes because he knows that you have no intention of staying here. You just want to come here, study, and go back to your country. Okay. So, as I said, why the USA? It's not just telling them about the USA. They have advanced research, they have trainings, they have this. The visa officer knows that already. They know. So, how is that thing going to help you as an individual help your country? So, there was a guy who went with electrical engineer, right? And I think he was a Nigerian. Okay. And this is what he said. He said, in Nigeria, there's power outages. And I just want to do something about that. I want to help my country with that power outage. So I want to go to the US and study electrical, study other renewable forms of energy and come back to Nigeria and help the power outages. This makes sense because the vessel officer, he stays in Nigeria. He knows the problems that is facing Nigeria. So, and the major problem in Nigeria is the power outages. So if you tell him that I'm going to the US because of this problem in my country and I'm going to come back and solve that problem, it makes more sense. It makes like, okay, this person has something he wants to do in his home country. So if I help him by giving him a visa, he's eventually going to come back and solve a problem in his country. Okay. Yeah, he said, are you discussing all these students? Yeah, I said if you have any question, you can ask me. So if you have any question about visitors visa and you want to ask, I'm always here and you can ask that question. But no one asked. All the people asking are about students visa. That's why I'm always talking about students visa. But visitors visa is similar to a student's visa. The laws in students visa is the same laws in visitors visa. They are similar. So for visitors visa, we have section 214B. Is the same in students visa, which means you have to also tell them that after your visit, after your stay, you're going to come back to your home country. But if you need a specific thing about visitors visa, just let me know. Please, my question. My sponsor has two bank statements, both of them. Yeah, so if he has two and you can send it two bank statements. This is maybe Fidelity Bank, this is Echo Bank. Send the two bank statements there. And as I said, bank statements, they don't always take your bank. There are times where they don't even take your bank statement at all. But for safety, just send both bank statements. So when they ask you, you just prove to them. Yeah. That just show good home ties when you tell the VO that after graduation you'll be coming back to your home ties. And yeah, yeah, Tabitha, yep, yeah, it shows good home ties. That one is under career home ties. There is something you want to do in your home country, so you want to come back and help and give back to the community. Yeah, it's a career home ties. So yeah, that's good. So Mabel, Mabel, for the visiting, right? One thing I've realized is you have to make travel arrangements before you even go. I don't know whether you've done that, but many people want to get their visas before they start making travel arrangements. But of late, many people are applying for B1, B2. So what I encourage is you first have to make the travel arrangements, get your hotel. If you can make a reservation, make a reservation, get your flights. If you can make a reservation before you go for your visa interview. Initially, people get their visas before they do all these things, but now of late, do all these things before you go for your visa interview. It shows your seriousness. Like it shows that you are really prepared, and the only thing that is left is your visa. Okay, so B1, B2, make arrangements before you. So if you're coming here like for the World Cup, for instance, get a place you are going to stay in the US. Try and know the flight you're going to take, know the date you're going to travel, know the date you're going to return, know the know the where the match you're going to watch is going to take place. Okay, so know all these details so when they ask you, you don't fumble, but make arrangements before you go for your interview. That's one thing I've realized. Yeah, make arrangements. Yep. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. And let me put my email in the chat. So if anyone needs something, you just okay. So David said, if you happen to be waiting for a visa interview, there are lots of denials. Is it advisable to reschedule? Now, if you reschedule, you're still going to go, no matter the case, no matter the situation, you still go. So if you hear a lot of denials, there are people, negative news travels faster than positive news. And recently, people were telling me that of late, denials is on the rise. Everybody I went with is getting denied. But there are people who went there on the same day and they got approved. So the fact that many people are getting denied doesn't mean you have to reschedule. If you reschedule, you are still going to do it. So why don't you believe in yourself and go there? Okay, you're still going to do it. So and there are lots of denials, but there are still people who get approved. So if you feel 100% in you that you are fully prepared, if you feel that, okay, I'm fully prepared for this, I can do this, go there and do what you can do. Okay. There are times people will fail, but you would be the only one who will get approved. Who knows? And there was a time I was speaking to my friend, and he said, I think I've interviewed him before on my other platform. He's called Redams. He was saying that on the day he went with some Ghanaians, and it was like 2 years ago, right? And 2 years ago, you can go to another country for your visa interview. So they went to Cote d'Ivoire, and he went with some Ghanaians, and the one, the one in front of him got denied. So he was scared, but he got approved. So the fact that people are getting denied, and another girl said all the people in front of him, her got denied. She was the only one who got approved. So who knows that all the people in front of David will get denied and only David will get approved? You wouldn't know. If you feel that you're 100% prepared for the interview, go there and try your maximum best. Don't listen to the news that is around. Yeah. Because people will go there and come back and tell you false news about the whole thing to make themselves feel good. So people will go there and they made mistakes, but they'll come back and tell a whole different story that, oh, the visa officer, I didn't even open my mouth. When I stood there, the visa officer said you are denied. That's what people come and say. But they wouldn't tell you the real story. So you who are preparing, you're going to be very scared. Oh, this person went there, he didn't even speak. So when I go there, but maybe he spoke, but his answers weren't that good. I remember someone told me this funny story that when he went there, he saw someone was there in front of him. The person in front of him, the vessel officer asked him that, um, how much does your uncle make? And he said his uncle makes $450,000 per month. That's why he said his uncle make $450,000 per month. And the visa officer said, $450,000? He said yes. And in a few minutes he got denied. So if this person will come out and wouldn't say that, he'll come out and say a whole different story. So that is it. He said his uncle works at a company. And so if his uncle works at a company, how can he make $450,000 every month? So his uncle can be a millionaire in like 3 months. It's possible, but which company in Ghana pays $450,000 a month? Is that's A month? No. It's not possible. Even in the US, no. Big people who work at Apple and they don't make that amount of money. They make that amount of money every year. So you telling the visa officer that your uncle makes $450,000 a month is, So this person, when you deny him, he'll come and tell you a whole different story. So this is what I want to tell you. If you feel you are prepared, if you feel you are ready, go there, believe in yourself, be yourself, know your story. That is very important. Know your story. You've prepared. Go there, get your visa approved. So, do you hold mock session? Yeah, I do the general mock session on Tuesday in the Telegram group. I don't know whether you're part of the Telegram group, but on Telegram we do mock session every Tuesday. But if you want a 1v1, you just send me an email. My email is in the comments. So I'll tell you the details and everything, what it involves and everything. Yep. So it's almost 1 hour 30 minutes since I started. So just let me talk to you for a while, then we end it. So what I need everybody to do here is number one, you must have a story. If you don't have a story, just get one. What inspired you? And it works. Okay, it works. Almost everybody. If you buy my book, if you get a copy of my book, you're going to know I listed a lot of people and I listed a trend you have to see. Every one of them had a story. They had something special. Okay, let me try sharing with you how the whole thing is like. Um yeah, every one of them had a story. No, it's getting too late, but next time I'll share with you the book and how where I listed that. So every one of them had a story. So have a story. Okay, so the story is like a safety net. So whenever you are fumbling with your answers, you don't know what to say, you just fall back on your story, and yeah, you have to get a story. Number two, be yourself. Believe in yourself. Okay, go there. Believe in yourself. You're already a winner already. The worst thing you're going to hear from the visa officer is a no, and the no doesn't kill you. Okay, it doesn't kill you off. So if the worst thing is a no, why don't you try your possible best and get approved? The worst thing is a no. So go there anyway, and go there, do whatever you can, get approved. Those liking, I can see people liking, but on YouTube I can't see the exact person. So thank you very much for the likes. I'm telling my brother about a flight reservation, but he doesn't want to take it serious. He wants me to just say so. It's so please. I don't really know how much for a round trip into New York City. Or isn't NC is I do you mean New York or North Carolina? I can check it for you right now. Let me see. Let me see. Guys, I'm coming up. Let me check it for her. Round trip to from you are in Ghana, right? Yeah, and if you want to book a flight or reserve I don't know whether they do a flight reservation. Where to is it North Carolina or New York? It's Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte. Let me see. North Carolina. Okay, I'm coming. So price line. Oh, okay. I have to reshare the official price line. Let me. Okay. So price line. When do you plan going? So let's say going to what the World Cup. World Cup. Let's say you go April 1st, and oh, what am I booking? Departing from you are going next week. He asks you to mention Delta Airlines. Okay. No, all the airlines will come, so don't worry. So where are you departing from? Is it Ghana? Yeah, maybe after let's send me an email so we work on this. But let's say it's Ghana. I don't know where you're from, but let's say it's Ghana, Accra to um Accra to Charlotte. And you are going on the first April and you return on the first of May. Let's see. And find your flight. Let me reshare it again. So your interview is next week. Oh, okay. So let me see. Price line Accra to Charlotte. Uh, yeah, from April to first May. So it's a round trip, and yeah, this is Delta 1,200, and this is Virgin Airlines, which is 1,200, the same price. Virgin same price. So KLM just 1,217. So yeah, so average of 1,210 for economy. But you have to, I don't know the number of bags you want to send. Yeah, so you just send me an email. We'll work on that. Okay. Yeah, you send me an email. We'll work on that. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, yeah, you have my email, right? And let me try and since I already shared my screen, let me try and show you this one real quick. Come here. Layout cemeteries of the book. Um, a minute. Yeah, whilst I'm searching for it, if you have any questions, just let me know. Yeah, Dinah, you are late. You are late. Yeah. So this is a book. Very soon, if you want a copy, I'll send a link in the group. But let me show you something that which I was about is in chapter three. Chapter three. No, chapter three. Um, yeah. So as I was talking about this was a guy who was chicken. This is a true story. He went for his interview in like 3 months ago, and he had a deficit of 23K, and he had a scholarship of like 23K as well. So let's go to, and this is where, so after he greeted the visa officer and the visa officer greeted and said, I'm fine, he started shaking. So yeah, that this is the reason why I said get a story. He said, why this program? He started with the background, the continuous advancement in the sector, and he said he started shaking. Inspires me to study more and adapt to new trends. The variation of career opportunities available, software development excites me. I will be, and this is where he proved the home ties to Ghana because the government push for the digitalization. That's a good answer. So you always have to let them know your background and stuff. This is what he said. So yeah. So you always have to prove your home ties in your like why. When they ask you why the US, why this program, you always have to try and prove your home ties. So yeah. So we are 1 hour 30 minutes in, and I just want to say thank you for joining. If you have anything I want to you want me to make a video on, I'm surely going to do that. But if you don't have any questions for me for now, so I'll be waiting for like the next 1 minute. If you have any questions, you can ask. But if you don't, we pray and we end. Yeah, you again. Yeah, Nina, send me an email so we talk. Okay. Yeah. So, yep. I'll be right back, fam. I'll be right back. Okay, so I didn't see any questions. So we pray, then we end. And I have a video coming up. It's all about prayer for you if you're going for your visa interview. And if you haven't subscribed, you make sure to subscribe. Every day I bring new videos. So, and if you need any one-on-one help, just send me an email. I'll respond to you as soon as possible. So let's pray and we end. Lord God Almighty, we thank you for a successful meeting. I commit everyone here into your hands and into your care. Everyone who took their time to join this session, bless them in Jesus' name. They all have one goal to one day go to the visa interview and hear the word approved. Lord, help them, be with them, guide and protect them. Don't let their hard work, their toil, be in vain. Continue to be with them. And on that day, on the big day, during their visa interview, they will go there full of grace and full of favor, full of wisdom. They answer every question and they'll hear, I approve your visa. We ask this and many more through your Christ, our Lord, and continue to open the right doors for them in their lives. In Jesus' name we pray with thanksgiving. Amen. So may God help each and every one of you. And I know that your struggles, your pain, the toil you're going through will surely bear fruit one day. And one day you testify that you worked hard and the hard work paid off, and God help you sail through. You get it? So I believe in each and every one of you. The journey might be hard at a point, it might be very difficult at a point, but you're a winner, and winners do not give up. So don't give up on your dreams. I'll see you here next week, and we are. I don't know whether I'll be free within this week, but if I'm free, I'm going to let everyone know. We will have a Q&A. So the questions and answers, we'll do it on YouTube live. And the mock session, since I want it to be very, very confidential, we will do it on Google Meet where I don't have to share it to anyone else outside the group. Then on Friday, we do the sessions about different things, especially about college application and stuff. But I pray your dreams come true. Okay, everybody. I pray that um, God will open doors for each and every one of you. And yeah, God is going to do that for everyone. So don't worry. Everything will be all right. Just be yourself during your visa interview. It's not as difficult as people say it is. There are times you go there and the visa officer is being relaxing. They just want to hear you out. They just want to know your story. They want to know who you are. They want to know your ambitions. They want to know your goals. They want to know who is funding you. They want to know whether you're going to return back to your home country or not. If you can really tell them without rush, with clarity, without too long answers, with imperfect English, even though you stammer, even though you go there and you'll be shaking, as I showed you, the guy was shaking. He was shaking like he said he was shaking. Now let me show it to you again. He was just shaking like that. He was shaking like that. He said, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? He said after the VO greeted him, there after the great anxiety, shaking, and frustration, and many more catch me. So he was shaking just like that. And here he said a continuous advancement in the sector, he started shaking again. So you might be shaking, you might be like nervous, but be yourself. Okay? Be yourself, prepare, practice. Everything will be all right. Okay. And the night after you go for your visa interview, you'll be rejoicing. When I was in Ghana, the first time I ate pizza twice before I left. No, three times. The last time I ate pizza was after my visa interview. So yeah, the night after your visa interview, you're going to enjoy. You get it. So you're not going to go home and cry. You're going to go home and take your family to the restaurant to eat and rejoice because God did it. Okay. So keep on believing, keep on working hard, keep on preparing, keep on showing up for the mock sessions, keep on speaking out when you are preparing for your answers. Just they are laughing at my pizza. Yeah, I ate pizza three times in Ghana. The first one was my brother bought it and he gave it to me. It tasted like kusi. And the second one, I think my friend's birthday is called Apia, his birthday. And the last one was when I was leaving Ghana. And my they said after my visa interview they sent me to. And one thing about my interview was I had to wait for 4 months before I got a date. So around this time, I didn't have a school. And what I did was my story there. Yeah, I was getting denied, and I know many of you know that. But on the what a coincidence. On the 14th of March, right? I went to my church in Ghana and I slept over in the church and I came back in the morning. There was no all night. I was the only one in the church just praying to God, hoping that there will be a miracle. So on the 14th, there was a school that came, MIT. I got denied. Yeah. So 2 weeks, that same week, the Saturday, right, in church, they were saying who has a testimony. and I went inside. I don't know what happened to me, but I went in front of the church, and I told the whole church that I asked God for something and He did it for me. But not God, no, nyanya. He hadn't done anything for me yet. But I believed that I was going to get a school. But at that time, I gave that testimony in church. I didn't have no school. All the schools had rejected me, and the reason why they rejected me a lot was I. Yeah, he said, "Wow, faith. Yeah, what a faith. Yeah." The reason why they rejected me a lot was I I applied for scholarships like immediately. So I don't wait for them to give me admission before I apply for scholarship. So if they see that they can't give me the scholarship amount I'm asking for, they'll just deny me. That is how I did it. But if they so there's a thing, schools need money from you, right? So it's easy to get admission if you just apply because they need money, so they'll just admit you. But I didn't do it that way. I applied for scholarship during the admission. When I'm applying for admission, I apply for scholarship. So if the school sees they can't help me with a full scholarship, they just deny me. So they denied me like crazy. Almost every school denied me. And so I just stood in the church. Every school had finished. Every school had closed their admission. So I stood in front of the church and I told them that God did something for me, and Nyankopon, he hadn't done anything for me. So 2 weeks later, I went back to school. I was in KNUST. I went back to school, and all of a sudden I saw an email of a school I applied like 2 years ago. I don't even remember the school because I was just applying. Like when I hear of this school, ah, I'll apply. So they told me that they'll look into my application again. I don't know what came upon them. They said that the application I submitted earlier, they were doing, and they decided to take a look at my application again, and they admitted me, and that was the admission I got, and that's why I'm here. So yeah, I always believe everybody has a story, and I think your story is more like way up there than mine, and you are going to tell your story one day, and you're going to tell people how you struggled, how you joined Nathaniel's life, and yeah, you're going to tell people that. So yeah, that's my story of how I got here. So the God factor, that's why every time when I start a live, I try to pray. Even the people who I do one on one with, I pray with them before we even start, and we end with prayer because there are times where you think there is no hope. There are times where you think, oh, this is the end, but you wouldn't know what God will do. You wouldn't know. So that is why we always pray. Yeah. So God is just like God did for me, the miracle God did for me. I believe He's going to do that same miracle for each and every one here. Type Amen. Yeah, it's going to come true. Yeah, just believe and type Amen. It's going to come through. It's going to open locked doors for you. Okay, just believe. Yeah. So that's my crazy story, and that is why what got me here. So my interview, I had to wait after I got approved. I got approved. I got to school in like March. So I started filling my DS-160, but I didn't get a date. I got a date in August. So 4 months. So if you've been waiting for date and you've been complaining, just it pays to wait. So I got a date in August, and I started applying for earlier appointment. And that also denials. They didn't accept my earlier appointment. They said I should go on the third. But my school had to reopen in the same August, like on the 14th. So I went to Accra on the second. On the third, I did my interview. I didn't come back home again. I stayed in Accra till I traveled. Yeah. So the whole thing was like, yeah. So there's my story. Everybody here is going to have a story eventually, and everything is going to be fine. Okay. The pain, the pain will not be over. When you come here, I'm telling you, the pain here is the pain here is like, but I still try and make time. People DM me and they'll be like, I've emailed you for a long time. You haven't. I'm like, bro, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Yeah. So, but still, I try and make time for everybody because I believe in you guys. I believe that your hard work will not be in vain. Okay. Yeah. So on Tuesday, we are going to meet for our mock sessions. Just join, and we will learn how to answer some visa questions. If you need a copy of the book, just let me know. Yeah. Please, I got a mission. I have emailed professors code emails concerning available assistantship, including the coordinator. But yeah, the professor say email what? And if you're applying for graduate school, try emailing professors, even undergrad. Okay, because you wouldn't know who will help you. And that is one thing that has helped me here. You wouldn't know. There are people you think, oh, okay, this person is not going to help me, but email them, you wouldn't know. You didn't get scholarships. It doesn't hurt. And as I said yesterday to you, or the worst outcome is a no. They are just going to say no. So email people like crazy. Like, I applied to this school, I need a scholarship, blah 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 blah. Instead, which I did, he isn't responding to my email. So if he isn't responding, I think the programs coordinator's number is online. So start calling, start calling the program coordinator on your phone. Just get some credit. It's expensive to call from Ghana though, but you need it. So get credit. Call him that hey, yeah. So any way you can get to the program coordinator, just get to him. Saida said, please on the DS-160 form, can you use your work experience as an NSS intern to fill the work experience session? Although you are in that way, your national service, yeah, this is our advisable, please. Oh, I think there's you can select not employed, and they'll ask you to submit what you've been doing, and that is when you can submit the NSS. But because I don't know whether you get paid for the intern, but if you say you work, they're going to ask you how much you make from the work. And what are you going to say? Seven. I don't know how much they pay the NSS people. I think 500 cities or so. I'm going to say 500 cities. So what I did for mine was I told them I told them that I wasn't working, right? I chose unemployed. But hey Ruth, how are you doing? So I chose unemployed. But the unemployed section, I wrote that I volunteered for Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. Yeah. So in TV as well. Yeah, so that's what I wrote there. I volunteered for Comfort Noche Teaching Hospital. Like I was an intern there. So yeah, I think you can do the same thing. Or if you get paid, I don't know how much they pay for the national service, but if you get paid a huge sum of money, and you think you can write it there. So both ways. But I think I chose unemployed or I chose a student or something. And they asked me that um yeah, they asked me that I should provide my details. So I said I've been volunteering for Confirmation Teaching Hospital. Yeah. Is it covering? Thank you. Hope you're good. Yeah, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm just tired. I couldn't sleep yesterday night. My head, but yeah, it was paining me. So, but I think I'm good now. That's why you see me here. So I hope you all learned a lot today. I'm very glad. I'm very glad that I think at least everybody is changing the way they see this interview, and I love that. I love that. Yeah, I think everybody knows that this is how it works, and it's not difficult. They just want to know you, and that's all you have to go and say there. Okay, so I'm waiting for the next 1 minute. If anyone doesn't have any question, we leave. And next week by this time, we meet again for the questions and answers. And on Tuesday, we meet for the general visa mock session. And on Friday, we meet for the general like topics you want me to talk about. So that will be the routine. That will be the routine. Yeah, and if you need one on one also, you can send me an email and we'll definitely talk. Yeah. And if you need help with like cold emails, SOPs, resumes, what again? What again? DS wants us to review. Um, yeah, you just have to contact me, and I'll make sure that I help you out. Have we prayed already? Yeah, we have. So thank you guys for joining me today. I'll see you on Tuesday where we do some mock sessions and we learn how to answer your visa interview questions. I love you and stay safe, okay? And always believe in yourself. You're going to be great. Always believe in that, okay? Always believe. I'm going to see you later on next week. Thank you for joining. Bye. I want to see your bye before I leave. No one is talking. Yeah, Ruth and Dinah, bye. Dinah, I'll respond to your email. Ruth, I'll send you what you told me to send you. I haven't forgotten that. I was very, very tight yesterday and Friday. So I'll see you guys.